Welcome to the deep dive. We all want to get better at communicating, right? Whether it's like nailing that presentation at work or just feeling a bit more confident day to day.
Absolutely. It's a universal thing.
And you shared a really great YouTube video with us, Be Direct and Polite in English, with Assertive Communication 5 Tips from Speak Confident English.
That's the one.
So that's what we're going to unpack today. Our mission, basically, is to pull out those key strategies, the actionable stuff.
Exactly. So you can express what you need, what you want, your ideas, but clearly and, politely.
Yeah.
Without feeling overwhelmed.
Right. And we'll also try to get really clear on those different styles, passive, assertive, and aggressive communication. Big differences there.
Huge. It's all about giving you practical, immediately usable insights for navigating those interactions with more confidence, more clarity.
Okay, let's dive in.
And the video kicks off with such a relatable scenario, doesn't it? Really grounds the whole discussion.
It totally does. Okay, picture this. You're at a restaurant, maybe your favorite place, looking forward to your meal.
Yep, been there.
And the server brings you the wrong dish.
Yeah.
Happens. So the video gives two ways you might react.
Okay.
First, the passive one. Something like, excuse me, I wonder if maybe there's been a mistake with this order. If not, don't worry about it.
Oh, I can almost feel the awkwardness. You're kind of apologizing for their mistake.
Right. Then there's the assertive response. Excuse me, I believe there's been a mistake with this order. I ordered the pasta with mushrooms, not the mushroom pizza.
Ah, much clearer. Still polite, but direct.
Exactly. Just hearing those two, which one feels more direct, more confident? It's pretty obvious, I think.
It really is. And what's fascinating, like you said, is how that first response, while trying so hard to be polite, it almost cancels out what you actually want.
Yeah, you end up with the pizza you didn't order just to avoid, like, a moment of potential awkwardness.
Right. You prioritize harmony over your own satisfaction. You can almost feel that unmet need just lingering.
Totally. And that really sets the stage perfectly for understanding these different communication styles the video talks about. So let's start with passive. The video explains it often comes from this place of wanting to be super polite, maybe keep things harmonious.
Which, isn't necessarily bad in itself. Politeness is good.
Sure, in certain situations.
Yeah.
But the video also points out the downside, right? If it becomes your go-to style.
Exactly. It can lead to this pattern where you're constantly putting other people's needs, their opinions, ahead of your own.
You might seem like you lack conviction, maybe.
Yeah, or that you're just trying to avoid any kind of friction, even if it means you don't get what you need. It can feel a bit, submissive.
Okay, so that's passive. Now, the one we're really focusing on, assertive communication.
Yes. And the video defines this as calmly and confidently stating your needs, your wants, your opinions, even when it's a bit tricky, a difficult situation.
And the crucial thing here, the video really hammers this home, is that assertive isn't pushy. It's not demanding.
No, not at all. It's about standing up for yourself, advocating for yourself, while still treating others with respect. That's key.
So you recognize your own value and needs.
But you also acknowledge the value and needs of the other person. It's a balance. And importantly, it includes being able to say no sometimes without feeling totally guilty about it.
Right, that guilt factor is huge for a lot of people.
Definitely. It's finding that sweet spot where you're heard, you're respected, but you're also respecting them.
The video gives another great example to make this distinction clearer. This time, it's about asking for a pay raise.
Ah, the classic tricky conversation.
Exactly. So a passive approach might sound like, well, almost painful. I don't know if this is okay to ask or if it's a good time, and please don't feel obligated, but I was just sort of wondering if maybe we could possibly talk about a pay raise sometime, if that's all right.
Wow, yeah. You can just feel the lack of confidence radiating off that, can't you? It's so hesitant, almost apologetic for even bringing it up.
Wholly undermines the whole point.
It does. Now, contrast that with the assertive approach the video suggests. I would like to schedule a time to discuss my compensation. Based on my contributions and growth within the company over the past year, I believe a raise is warranted.
Do the difference. Night and day.
Absolutely. It's clear, direct, professional. It frames it around your value, your contribution, confident.
Okay, so that sounds great.
Yeah.
But I know a concern that pops up, and the video addresses this head on, is this worry that being assertive is actually, well, rude.
Ah, yes, the assertiveness versus aggression confusion. This is such a vital distinction to make.
Crucial.
And the video separates them really clearly. They are worlds apart. Assertive communication, as the video puts it so well, works on the principle of I matter and so do you.
I like that framing. I matter and so do you.
Right. It's about expressing yourself clearly, respectfully, making sure everyone involved feels acknowledged.
And when you're doing that assertively, the video points out some nonverbal cues too, right? Like tone of voice.
Yes. Keeping your tone calm and steady is really important. And maintaining appropriate eye contact, not staring aggressively, but connecting project's confidence without being confrontational.
Okay, so what about aggressive then? How does the video define that?
Aggressive communication is basically the opposite. The video describes it as coming from an I matter and you don't place.
Oof, not good.
Not good at all. It involves expressing your needs and wants in a way that just dismisses or disregards the feelings and rights of others. Think, raising your voice, using disrespectful language, being dismissive.
Things that tend to escalate conflict, not resolve it.
Precisely. The video rightly notes it usually leads to confrontation.
So the big takeaway here is that assertiveness is that middle ground. It's respectful advocacy for yourself.
Exactly. You stand your ground, but you value the other person too.
Okay, so the video then highlights some key situations where this assertive approach is really beneficial. First one, protecting your rights.
Mm-hmm. Super important. This could be anything from, standing up to discrimination or just politely but firmly correcting a mistake on a bill. Or even saying no to requests that feel like they're taking advantage of your time.
Things we all encounter. What's the second situation?
Communicating effectively in discussions. So
Okay.
if you have a different opinion in a meeting or maybe a concern about how a project is going,
Yeah.
assertiveness lets you voice that clearly and respectfully. It ensures your perspective actually gets heard and considered rather than just staying silent or, worse, getting aggressive about it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And the third one?
It's all about maintaining self-confidence. When you can actually advocate for your needs, set those healthy boundaries, it really reinforces your sense of self-worth. It's good for your overall well-being.
Okay, so we know why it's important. Now the practical stuff. The video gives 5 concrete strategies to actually do assertive communication.
Yes, the how-to. Let's dig into those.
Strategy number 1 is use I language.
The I statements. What's so powerful about this, as the video points out, is how it shifts the focus.
How so?
Well, by starting with I, you're talking about your feelings, your needs, your observations. You're not pointing fingers or assigning blame, which can immediately make someone defensive.
Ah, okay, so instead of you did this wrong.
Right. Which sounds like an accusation. You frame it around your own experience, like you're inviting understanding, not triggering defensiveness. It changes the whole dynamic. Much less confrontational.
The video has a good example, right? Instead of, it would be helpful if you took on this task, which kind of implies they haven't been helpful.
Exactly. Which could sound passive-aggressive even.
You say, I would appreciate it if you took on this task. Simple switch?
Simple but effective. The first one judges. The second just states a desire. No judgment attached.
Okay, that's strategy 1. Use I language. What's number 2?
Strategy 2 is use empowering language.
Empowering language. What does that mean exactly?
It means being mindful of the words you choose. Specifically, avoiding words that sort of weaken your message. Things like just, or I'm sorry, when you don't actually need to apologize, or I guess.
Oh yeah, I hear those all the time. I just wanted to ask, or sorry to bother you, but...
Exactly. And the video points out how these little qualifiers can subtly undermine your confidence in the perceived importance of what you're saying.
Right. So by cutting them out.
You project more certainty. It encourages others to take your needs more seriously. The video gives an example with borrowing something, like a ladder.
Okay.
Instead of, sorry for bothering you, but could I maybe get my ladder back? You'd see something like, I need to get my ladder back to finish painting my home. When would be a good time for me to pick it up?
Much stronger. Clear need, clear action requested, no unnecessary apology.
Precisely. The first version almost diminishes your own need, doesn't it? The second states it as a valid requirement.
Okay, got it. Strategy 3.
Strategy 3. Be direct.
Be direct. Okay, this sounds related to the empowering language thing.
It is, but it's specifically about avoiding overly tentative words like could and might when you have a clear need or expectation that isn't really optional.
But aren't could and might used for politeness, like, could you pass the salt?
Yes, absolutely. And the video acknowledges that modals like could are great for polite requests where a no is perfectly acceptable, but
Thought.
But when you genuinely need something done or have a firm expectation, those words can introduce ambiguity or make it seem like an option when it isn't. Direct just signals the importance you place on it.
Okay, give me the video's example for this one.
Right. So instead of, I was wondering if you could possibly send me an update by the end of the day.
Sounds pretty standard, actually.
It does, but it's quite indirect. The more assertive, direct version is, will you send me an update by the end of the day? Or even, please send me an update by the end of the day.
Okay, I see the difference. Less wiggle room.
Yeah.
More clarity on the expectation.
Exactly. It removes ambiguity. Okay, strategy number 4.
Number 4.
Set clear boundaries.
Boundaries. Always
Yeah.
important.
Crucial. And the video stresses being clear about what you will and won't do, and crucially, doing it without over-explaining or feeling the need to apologize excessively.
Especially with people who might be a bit pushy.
Yes, the video mentions that specifically. Sometimes less explanation is more effective with persistent individuals.
So what's the example here? How do you say no clearly but politely?
Instead of a long apologetic ramble like, oh gosh, I'm so sorry, Friday's just so packed, I don't think I can possibly squeeze that in, I feel terrible.
Yeah, we've all done that.
Right. The assertive version is more like, I can meet you on Saturday, but Friday won't work for me this week.
Simple, direct, offers an alternative.
Exactly. And the video highlights that benefit. Offering an alternative, when possible and appropriate, is great. It shows willingness to connect or help, just on different terms. It maintains the relationship while firmly setting your limit.
Okay, makes sense. Keep the connection, protect your time. What's the last one? Strategy 5.
Strategy 5 is use scripts and rehearse.
Scripts. Like write it out beforehand. Seems a bit unnatural.
It might sound formal, yeah. But the video explains it can be incredibly helpful, especially if you find assertiveness really challenging in the heat of the moment.
Okay, I can see that. If you get flustered easily.
Right. By actually writing out what you want to say and then practicing it, you build confidence. You feel more prepared for those potentially difficult conversations, less likely to freeze up or revert to passive habits.
Does the video give a script example?
It does. A really useful one for a common situation. Feeling overwhelmed at work and needing to ask for help.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
It goes something like this. Thank you so much for your support. I'm currently managing several other tasks that require my full attention, and I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed with my workload right now. Unfortunately, I won't be able to complete this project on time without some help. I would really appreciate your assistance with, and then you name the specific task.
Wow, that's very clear. Professional, explains the situation, states the need, requests specific help. No blaming, no complaining, just facts and a request.
Exactly. And the video makes a really crucial point about the rehearsal part.
Which is?
The goal isn't to memorize it word for word. That would sound unnatural, robotic even.
Right.
The idea is to use your notes, maybe practice in a mirror, check your tone, your eye contact, and get comfortable paraphrasing it, adapting it.
So it becomes your own words, just structured.
Precisely. The practice builds comfort with the language itself. And you start to see different ways you could express the same need assertively. It becomes more natural over time.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Practice makes, well, not perfect, but more comfortable.
Exactly. It's about building that comfort level, finding your authentic, assertive voice.
So recapping those 5 strategies from the video. Use I language.
Employ empowering language.
Be direct.
Set clear boundaries.
And use scripts and rehearse.
Those are the tools.
And looking at all of these in the examples, it really drives home that assertiveness isn't about, steamrolling people or always getting your way.
Not at all. It's about communication. Communicating your needs, your boundaries, clearly, respectfully, aiming for understanding, and ideally, a mutually okay outcome.
Right. Respect for self, respect for others.
So, echoing the question the video itself poses to its viewers, as you, our listeners, reflect on these 5 strategies, which one kind of jumps out at you?
Yeah, which one feels like maybe the most useful one for you to try first? Where could you start implementing it?
It's worth taking a moment to think about your own communication patterns. Where do you tend to lean? Passive, maybe occasionally aggressive? Where could one of these assertive strategies make the biggest difference?
That's a really practical takeaway question.
And maybe one final thought to leave people with. Think beyond just fixing specific tricky situations.
Okay.
Consider this. What if you started consistently using assertive communication? Not just now and then, but making it more of your default style. How might that, over time, actually build a deeper sense of, well, personal agency? That feeling of being more in control, more confident in how you navigate the world.
Hmm. So it's not just about getting the right pasta dish or asking for help on a project.
Hmm.
It's potentially about building a more confident version of yourself overall.
Potentially, yeah. It's definitely something we're thinking about.